Blank page syndrome. This is a form of writer's block that is caused by the mere sight of a blank page document. Have you ever spent hours sitting at a desk staring at the whiteness in front of you, cringing at the thought of the amount of work that lay ahead of you? You are not alone. Much of the student body struggles with this plague. It creates a lot of stress for writers everywhere, writers from all backgrounds and skill levels. What does this mean for you? There are ways to overcome blank page syndrome. Panic is not necessary. If anything, panic will only add to the stress that is causing the blank page syndrome. Here are some tools to assist you in beating this problem once and for all. First, a writer must understand the steps of the writing process. These 3 steps are pre-writing, writing, and revising. If one can see their task ahead broken into smaller steps, he or she can begin to set goals to achieve each in a manner that is less overwhelming. This will require time management, as you will need to set aside time to fully utilize each of these processes to fill their potential. The most crucial of these steps, and often the most ignored, is the pre-writing or planning stage. This is the time where you can organize your thoughts and begin to plan how you are going to approach your paper. Brainstorming is one of the greatest tools a student can use when beginning a new piece of writing. This is where the writer can sit down and just scribble out all the ideas that come to their mind. In his article, Brainstorming Themes That Connect Art and Ideas Across the Curriculum, D.R. Walling states, "Ideas are starting points for thought, discussion, reading, viewing, writing, and making. If ideas are people's starting points, then you must find a way to transform your idea from a start into a fully thought-out piece of work." The greatest part about brainstorming is that you have the opportunity to choose from many different ideas and decide which is appropriate for your paper. Another great way to overcome blank page syndrome is to strengthen your metacognitive knowledge. Now, that may sound confusing, but what it actually means is that understanding how you learn and regulating these strategies in a way to create the best learning experience for yourself is developing your metacognitive knowledge. First, a student needs to be able to recognize the elements that create their greatest chance of getting their writing done. This spans from understanding the time it takes them to write to understanding the distractions that causes them to vary from the writing plan. The second part of metacognitive knowledge is understanding how to regulate these factors now that they are aware of them. For instance, this may mean setting aside 20 minutes a day for 2 weeks to write a little a day, or to write on paper first to not be distracted by something like Facebook. One really great way to practice these skills is to write reflections after each assignment. You can take a moment to reflect on some of the positive and negative experiences you had when writing said paper. This will help give you a reference to work off of during your next writing assignment, and also help you to see if some of the problems stem from lack of motivation. In a world full of overstimulation and convenience, everyone is becoming less motivated and having to do things that require too much effort. There are 2 types of motivation. Intrinsic, which means that the activity itself is a reward to you, which means it's just fun and you enjoy it, or extrinsic, which means your motivation is caused by some outside reward or consequence, such as failing a course or getting an A. In order to overcome blank page syndrome, we have to learn to intrinsically motivate ourselves to get that extrinsic reward. In order to do this, we can utilize a term called self-talk. Self-talk is using positive thoughts to motivate ourselves. Basically, all this means is if you tell yourself you can't do it, and if you sit there and think that you're never going to be able to get over your blank page syndrome, then that's what's going to happen. So in order to do this and go forward and overcome blank page syndrome, you must say no to blank page syndrome. Decide that you can do this. And remember, the Writing Center at PUC is always here to help students who are in need, and we're here to make it fun for everyone. So never fear and come in and see us. And remember, the cold white document that lies in front of you is not something to fear. It is a blank canvas. View it as your way to create something beautiful.